Like, who's in the kitchen bumping
Alexa,
rap music?
Don't play with it.
Don't play with it. Featuring Billy B.
She said with, I said with it.
She goes, play with it.
What's up? That's what he wanted. That was his request.
I love that you were in here earlier with this like floral dress on. It's like the most girly thing. And you're like, Alexa, drop that shit.
Don't play with it.
Ooh.
Wait, she's gonna play it now. For fishing, you are cutting the bait.
Can we use cheese as bait?
No, not the spicy kind at least. It might be blowing up out there.
Do you want some?
You know, whenever I was a kid, we used to fish with crickets.
We
got
got
to put a live cricket on the little thing, and my dad always did it. I was very much not into it.
We gotta put live minnows. You want a piece of cheese?
You're gonna do that. Yes, I do.
Cool.
It's not for you, it's
right.
for me.
I think the rods are out there.
I'm scared we're gonna catch baby sharks.
I'm scared we're
And
gonna
if
catch
we catch a baby shark, I'm not singing the song, I'm throwing it back.
I feel like getting it off the hook.
That's how you know you're really in the country. When you walk in my yard, I found like a Slim Jim wrapper from probably 2 years ago, faded. I found one Chanel espadrille that came from, it wasn't real.
A Chanel what? You're like, I checked.
I must have like thrown them off and just left it. The water, the wind.
The smell of marsh.
Plus mud, baby. Give me that fluffy stuff.
Ooh.
Girl, I don't even think I could put this thing on it.
What have we got? Like, I mean, that's why I thought shrimp. Just like buy some shrimp cocktail and put it on a hook.
Well, I guess I know what shrimp look like when they're not cooked.
What are we fishing for? We got all the fish we need in here. Oh God, we're good. I just needed to like touch it. Okay, I got one. Ah!
Oh my God.
All right, don't let it go. It's pretty slippery.
What if we just like?
You know Vienna sausages? That's what we call them, fishing weenies.
Okay. I gotta do it.
No.
It's on.
Yay!
Woo!
You would think I've given birth and I should be able to do that, but no.
Let's just take a picture and me like holding it and then just like enhance the size. Like,
I'll hold this.
don't
even
ask
think
me what
about
we're
it,
gonna do
little
if we
muffin.
actually catch a fish.
Okay, I gotcha. See, we fish with red cane poles, so you didn't have all this mechanical thing. Sitting on the dock of the bay,
wasting
trying to
time.
catch something, not throw it back.
Hold on. No, seriously, I really don't know what we're gonna do if we catch something. Connor caught an eel one time.
You know how like the boys talk about how they're like so many fish in the sea and they're a catch and throw back?
Yeah.
It's like they
Catch and
try and
release.
make fun of that. Catch and release.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot where I was going with that, but I
You're
feel
like-
like they definitely were, and now I get it. If we caught an eel, that would be a Shep or an Austin or whatever. Come on now, get off my reel. I'm just kidding. God, it's so fun to be petty during like simple things like this. Sorry, that was a personal problem. Where's the Gucci boy?
You just like enlarge this in editing and make it look like we caught something.
Hey friend, cheers. Go
Oh,
us.
sorry, mine's over there.
Oh, okay, that's cool. I remember one time I went fishing with Shep and Craig, and we were in Hilton Head, and we didn't catch anything, right? But all our friends were waiting on us, and we were like, we're catching dinner. And we caught nothing. So when we got back, we just used the bait that we took out there as like our fish. And it was totally frozen, right? But we took a picture with it, holding it. You know how those like little fisher people do? They're like, whoa,
Like, hold it.
look at this mahi. This thing is huge.
Woo!
Girl, my spray tan is literally melting.
That's agoraphobia. Do you have agoraphobia? What's it mean again?
It's
your
like when you're
fear
afraid of leaving the house. It's like,
agoraphobia. Yeah. I feel like you have that a bit.
I feel like I don't know what they've been saying about me. I don't know, what has been said about me, and I haven't been out there talking. So I'm just like, I just want to stay inside in my little bubble.
Yeah.
And like heal in all the ways that I need to after 10 years on a show like that. When you're on a show, like you have the ability to like, People Magazine, if you do something like People or whoever will pick up on it, right? Because you're relevant at the time, right? That's what we would explain it as. And now I would explain myself as like, the word I would use is like irrelevant, but that's not true. But that's how.
But that's what's being said. So then you
it
feel
makes
like
you feel that way. Yeah, man. Like when you leave a show, like a reality show on Bravo, like I feel like that's just like a whole network. And like when you leave a show or you're fired or whatever words people want to use, like it's just so weird. You don't know how to feel about it because you were like loved for so long, and then now you're like not needed anymore. That's what it feels like. We don't need you anymore. Bye.
I know it's such like a broad question, but like if you could go back knowing what you know now and go do those like earlier seasons, do you think
I would go back to season 1 and tell that girl to not move to the Hamptons with that older man and just stay where she was, figure out what she loves, what she wants, not take on like what seems stable in someone else as my own sense of security. And I think that's what I did with him.
Yeah.
And you know, I was just like, I was this little country girl, like from Moncks Corner, you know, so I was around all these Charleston people. Like they always seemed like, you know, uppity to me, you know? So like to be accepted somewhat in that moment, I felt like, wow, like, oh my God, like like, I can't believe he likes me. Like, why, who am I? And I just kind of like had blinders on.
Well, I feel like at that age, everyone has blinders
Girl,
on.
right?
That's what I'm saying.
I was just at like Pavlov's in Colombia, going to fucking smoking P-Funks, Parliaments, you know what I mean? Just having fun. And then all of a sudden I'm with an old man.
I love that.
All I know is I don't love the fact that I'm not catching anything.
Nothing new. We're gonna be hungry tonight. You wanna go inside and Uber Eats?
Yeah, because in Moncks Corner we don't have that.
We'll order fish tacos. Take a picture of that.
Can I get a minnow bag? Just a minute. Okay, do I hook it this way? Okay, this is always the hardest. Ready?
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
My ass. Growing up, we would have like oyster roast at our house and stuff like that with our family. Like skin a deer at the same time. You know, just do it like we do.
Skin a deer at the same time.
My dad would typically go hunting that day, yeah. And it would always stink. Oh, I hated the smell of a dead deer. You know when you kill your first deer, they have to put blood on your face and stuff?
No, did you do that?
Disgusting.
You
Yeah,
got, oh my
so
God,
gross.
see that's not me, you're a country girl. What you
And
killing
then,
a
like,
deer
you're
and
supposed
not
to, like hold the eyeball and like it's nasty.
Yeah, you can't hook a minnow.
I know, right? It's weird. I've changed.
I've changed.
Here.
With it.
She even got the lean. Like the like you're like,
Oh
don't
my
play
God.
with it.
See, it's in there somewhere. It's that little country me in there.
Have you ever gotten in a physical, like a bar fight? Like, don't play with it.
No. I remember in high school that I got like in trouble for like cussing this girl out at like the tree, like the lunch tree, but I was such a little like nerd. I don't know why I did. I must have been like pressured.
I feel like as we're tall girls, like no one really picks at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they didn't really mess with us. I think like there's a lot of people that are into the true crime, and I think growing up I was always a scaredy cat, but now I watched like 2020.
But I feel like that. I feel like you would be into.
I think it's because the search for the truth.
I'll be like driving like late night listening to it and like stop at a gas station, and I'll be like, I'm too big to kidnap.
True.
No one's coming at a 5'10" girl trying to swoop me up into a man.
They would have to be
lanky.
real big. They would have to be like an NFL player.
Well, if that's the case, they can't try to
go right
kidnap me.
ahead. Pick us both right up. No, I definitely feel like being tall definitely gives us a upper hand in ways.
I didn't like being tall until like after college.
Why? Why did you didn't like it?
I think because I like wanted to be like all the like my friends, like short, tiny.
I remember trying to figure out if there was like knee surgery whenever I was in like, you know, intermediate school or something to make me shorter or make my feet smaller. I thought you could get like your toes cut off and like shaved. I mean, the stuff we thought about before it was even a thing. I don't know if it's a thing.
When
I don't know what they were doing.
I mean, in this day and age, could be.
Shaving off things, cutting it off, removing it, replacing it, filling in that hip dip.
You know, there's a surgery. It's called like it's like the buckle, and then they like take out the fat pockets in your cheek, and then it gives them that like But I'm like, you're gonna get old. That's what gives you that like baby face to have the I'm like, keep the fat pockets in.
There's a reason they're there, like, right? That God gave us the fat pockets for.
I just feel like you just aged yourself by doing that.
No,
I don't
it's
know.
so true. And that's one thing I'll say, like, I didn't fall for all of the stuff where you get involved in a reality show and then you feel all this pressure and then you're like doing X, Y, and Z. Remember like Heidi Montag, like love her, but back when she was on, what was it, Laguna Beach or the Hills?
No, it was the Hills.
Yeah, and then she left and like got like 20 surgeries at once or something.
Yeah, did you ever?
That's like a complex you can totally get. Like people be getting like fake dentures now that at our age, and I'm like, what was there before? I didn't notice, I guess.
I mean, did you ever like watch yourself back? I guess you just answered that question, but and like start nitpicking and like want to change things, or because I mean you started so early. Like I think about that all the time. I'm like, I can't imagine being in my early 20s and having cameras on me. Like I don't think my confidence or like self-esteem was there yet for me to do it. So like, did you ever have that?
Well, I feel like when the show started, it was 2013. So reality TV wasn't what it is today. It was, you know, Jersey Shore was big, The Bachelor, Survivor, things like that were like reality TV as we knew it. But so I didn't really understand what we were doing when we started filming. And it was a wild ride. When we all went into it, I feel like everyone just had no idea of what we were doing. We had no even concept of, oh, I'm going to come off this way, so I want to make sure I'm careful. Or I'm not going to come off this way, so I want to make sure I do that. Like, none of us were thinking anything like that. We were just open to the experience, and I think that's what made it so good in the beginning. But so bad.
Authentic. That's why like everyone always says you're so real. Like Kathryn's like the realest on there because you weren't trying to come off a certain way. It's just like,
and it was kind of like I was raised by real reality TV. You know, they raised me, you know, raised me right. And then all these, you know, people coming in and they're trying to like, you know, carve this image. And I noticed that whenever some of the other new people had come in and they would like go into a scene and it would feel like they had, you know, premeditated, like whatever we're gonna like want out of the scene. And now that I rewatched some of the latest episodes from last season, I'm like, these girls are trying to produce themselves. And that's why like whenever I would film with some of them, like I just couldn't connect because I was like,
you would get like silent. Like I remember us going to the garden party. That was like my first group thing to film, and I was so excited because I was going with you, so I was comfortable with. And like we had that conversation on the way there. We're like, we're just gonna be chill, everything's gonna be fine. And you walked in there and you're like, fuck y'all. And I was like, oh, eat the scone, pour the tea, Kathryn.
Like, yeah, no,
but
I know.
You get,
I'm
like,
sorry
quiet.
about that. That was definitely like a.
No, don't be sorry. But you did. You got like quiet. I remember you like didn't have much to say.
Because that's like my only way to protect myself in those situations. It's like, if I feel like people are not being real, like I'm just like, not participating, not gonna do it, not doing it. And I think that's really kind of like why I phased out a little in those last few years. And also just a lot of other reasons. But I will say that I'm thankful that I did the show back when I did it because it was such a real experience. I'm not saying there's not room for a real experience. I'm just saying like.
For you, it was.
And I don't want to talk negatively about it. I just want to say it lost a bit of its roots. Which is a shame, but I love the time that I had. I'm very thankful for what I learned. It was hard the first year.
I was gonna say, I mean, like, what was it like watching for season 1, like watching it back, like, oh, there it is, because not like going into it not knowing how it was all gonna work out. You're just like, we're just doing this life and cameras are around. So then to watch it all cut up and done on TV, like, what was that like? Who did you even watch it with?
Well, the first season, I had just had Kinsey. Literally right when the show was airing, so I was never getting online, but when I did, I would see these messages, gold digger, you just like blah, 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 and I'd be like, boop, not looking at it, you know, just in my own little bubble. And then when I came back the next season, I realized like I wasn't really a gold digger because it was fool's gold. It was a booby trap. My mom would say that. She was like, if they called you a gold digger, you must have been searching and found fool's gold. It's like, those were the lines I loved my mom for. Like,
I think you got them from her. You were so witty and like come up with like the quickest little creative comebacks. And I freeze. I'm like,
no, I think you're funny. I think you and I, when we're hanging out, we can be ourselves. And that was why I feel like you and I connected on the show most.
well, do you have a favorite season of filming?
Filming. Season 1 would have to be the funnest just because we were young and living life, you know, living La Vida Loca, okay? Like going to Republic, it had just opened. Nothing was what it is today. Nothing had gained like an alternate identity. Everything was just what it was. And that's just how life, I guess, evolves. Like over time, like things in a 10-year period of time, like things go from one thing to the other. So I don't know.
You're just like glad that you got to be a part of it when it was like that raw green.
I think it definitely made me the strong person I am.
Oh my God, I would have to, right? Kathryn. Like
go in. It's kind of like, what do you call it when you're just thrown into something?
Thrown into something.
Okay, that's what I was. Yes. And now I walk out and people are like, how are you so strong? I'm like, I really don't know either. I think that you just do. When you have to show up for yourself, you just do.
I mean,
not always. But in the show, like I did, I guess. I think what I liked, prided myself more on the fact that I felt like I was a good person, even though I didn't have the money like everyone around me. Like, I knew I was a good person, so like they could talk all the crap they wanted to me, but they couldn't take away like me.
Like I would mention on the doc already, but like when you left, you didn't like do any press, you didn't do any interviews. Like everyone's asking like where you were, and it just like why was that? Why didn't you feel the need to like respond back to everyone asking the questions?
I feel like I didn't want to say anything because every person I'd seen leave a show on Bravo had gotten dragged through the media, whether they spoke out on it and said like I chose to leave, or they said I was fired and I got screwed over, or whatever it was. It's just like the narrative is never in your hands when it's something that goes on behind closed doors like that, you know? Yeah. So I felt like I just want people to, I think I trusted everyone to know me and the person I am, and to know that there would be no truth to me having left the show for some like reason, like as far as me treating the production bad. Like, do you really think for 10 years I treated them bad and it took them 10 years to say it? And like, what? Like, those were my people. That was my family that got me through those times. They were the people that were with me in the moments that were really crazy and traumatic and scary. And I really appreciated them. And to this day, I still talk to a lot of them. So like, that did bother me, because someone questions my character, like that bothers me. But when people were speculating, did she get fired or didn't she? Like, let them think whatever they want. You know, people are side pickers in the world, I've realized. Like, they're gonna be choosing either you're bad or you're good. It's one or the other.
You like trusted yourself that the impression you left 10 years being on the show, like you trusted.
And I trusted people to see the truth.
To see that. Yeah. No, I love that.
Because I think I always had to hold that trust for the viewers to see the truth. I feel like I always kind of now that I think about it, had that inside of me. Because it was like I could be on set and I would know like this person's acting this way and I think they might show it this way. But no matter what, like, you can't make me be something I'm not. I think it would be way more stressful to come in like with a calculated.
Yeah, because then you have to like keep up with that.
Yeah. And it just shows. People like underestimate the viewers.
I take comfort in knowing that like I'm not acting on reality TV, because like that is where you get like tripped up when you're trying to be one way and it comes off this. And then like when I was called that, even like by some of my castmates,
you're literally the only person I know that was straight up the same, on, off.
Yeah, and same with you. So that's why I was just like, when that flat came, I was like, it's not even, and if anyone has anything, if you're trying to be an actor in like the scripted world, like dramas and shows and stuff, like being on reality TV hinders that process.
Right, that's what I would think.
Like me being on a reality show is not going to help my chances of being in a movie. In fact, it's going to hurt them. Right. So I was that part. I was like, okay.
And so we weren't exposed to that. So like anyone coming in with like seeming like a big fish in our little fish bowl, it's like we got to make them seem smaller, make them feel smaller. And like, it shouldn't be that way, but that's definitely, I think, probably what that angle was.
Being off the show suddenly after being on it for so long during that like crucial point of your life, like how did you deal with that mentally and emotionally?
Honestly, like whenever I left the show, I felt like they had just dropped me back off on planet Earth where they picked me up from 10 years ago. And we're just like, bye, see you later, pick up where you left off, you know? It was a total mind screw up. Like everything was just, I don't know, yeah, it was weird.
Because you like, it was like you were put in a place where you're suddenly having to like re-find your identity.
Yeah,
because it was like,
because they kind of gave me my role. They didn't give it to me, but like once they found the role I fit, like that was kind of the only one they showed me in. And I think that I didn't realize that until I left, or until I wasn't filming. And I was like, wait, I have a full day ahead. What am I going to fill it with? What do I want to fill it with? Like, that was weird. You know? Like, huh? Like, who am I? Like, and then you go on social media and everyone's kind of expecting you to still be that caricature of yourself. And maybe that wasn't always me. Like, but it was, but like, I don't know. I'm also funny, and I'm so afraid to show the funny side on my Instagram, because anytime I ever did it in the past, people were like, oh, look, she's off the wagon again, or something like that. And it like made me super insecure.
Like you're so goofy, and then it's like to even show that and to have people react that way, you're gonna obviously recluse back and then get agoraphobia.
Yeah, I'm chilling at home, telling myself my own jokes with Gucci. But I will say that, you know, finally, now that it's been a little over a year, like I feel like I'm coming up for air. Like I had to catch my breath last year and figure out what just happened. But now it's like everything's kind of sinking in. I'm making sense of it all and figuring out what my path is forward, because I think it all happened for a reason. There was a reason I was on this show with a bunch of older people, had 2 children with a much older man, and went through what I went through. Everyone knows what that is. And I'm here, and I'm still here, and I'm still meant to like show people you can make it through all these things and continue going through these things on off camera. Like, I also think a lot of people think when you leave a show, like your life just stops, like you're no longer interesting. That's just not.
And that's like a narrative we easily like tell ourselves too. It is. And I mean, like I just did it for 2 seasons, so I can only imagine doing it.
But I mean, even just for 2 seasons, that's got to be like a whole like Whirlwind Minds FUCK too.
I like luckily was like in a place mentally where I mean, like I had from the first phone call that they were interested to when I actually got it, I had so much time. So I had time to like talk to my family. I had time to like meditate myself and really like think about, yeah. And so it wasn't just like overnight, like here you go, like so. And I'm very grateful for that, because I mean, I can't, like I said, I can't imagine just like having it start just like, okay, go.
I don't know which way would be better.
And like you always have that. I do love that, like you always have the footage, you know, like you always get to like look back and watch it. And
which is so weird, because I'll look back at like season 1 and I look at myself and I'm like, no one knew about eyebrows back then and how much of a difference that made. You know, I remember I was wearing 2-day Ardell lashes. They were still on the day, the second day, and I was at Thomas's that day, and he was having the dinner party that night, and I was like, oh yes, I can get ready so fast. Didn't have to put my lashes back on, and then I look at the scene, and I look at Craig, and I'm like, really? Name them. And my eyelashes go, it's never living it down.
What, do you have like, do you watch it ever and see outfits and you're like, what was I thinking? Or were you just like, no, at the time it looked and felt good?
Yeah, at the time I was like, Forever 21, let's go in, let's spend $1,000, let's get all our outfits. Like, I'm big ballin'. And, you know, all my outfits for Forever 21. Like, it's so weird. And then I'm dating like a man twice my age. Forever 21, like.
The following, like it really like quite literally comes overnight, and it was just like having my social media always be for fun and just like posting and go, and then to suddenly feel like you're expected to put stuff out there and like talk to the camera. Like I had the hardest time with like brand deals, like talking to the camera. I was like,
I
like,
do too.
like my mental to switch to like, oh, people want to hear what I have to say, or like I just like that took me a hot minute. I still cringe like watching it back. I'm like, just post it. I can't watch it. Like
I'm the same.
there's no roadmap for influencing.
I don't know if there's ever any getting used to it unless you just have like a weird bone in your body that, you know, you just can be an instant promo commercial, you know? Like it's hard to be that way. I think a lot of the influencers that come out of like reality TV, like I think I never like went full on into the influencer situation because
It wasn't a thing really.
but like also like I didn't naturally just want to go sell people stuff or something, you know? Like I was just like, I love that these people see me for me. Like, wow, like that was kind of like what I got from online.
Yeah, like you said, sell something. You're just like, this feels so yeah.
It just felt weird. But I mean, I get it now. Like people trust me. They look up. They want to know what I'm doing, using, whatever. But it took me a minute too to like get used to that for sure.
You said that one time, it was like, you wish you had someone just to kind of like show you the ropes. Yeah. Like, okay, here's your following, here's what it is. Like that's not there. I mean, yeah, we can watch like other influencers, see how they do it, but to know
the handbook when you're given step 1 would be cool. Because I made it to home base and then was like told there was a handbook now. That would have been nice. But yeah, I guess we're all just like a product of like what time we come into it. But I think when the show first started, I remember thinking like, so like how do I like navigate these scenes? And like Thomas had this book on his side table and it was called Reality TV. And I remember I looked briefly over it and it was more so how to produce it. And so I got on my little Google, on my little like fucking BlackBerry or whatever it was, you know, and I was like, reality TV, like what to know? And there was no information. There was nothing that came up, you know. There wasn't anyone speculating. It just wasn't really like a topic. And now it's everywhere, right? And see, like the people that are cool with like, you know, people thinking whatever they want about them, those are the people that are ruining reality TV, in my opinion. It's people like us that really care, that give you the real drama because there's genuine feeling behind it. And I think that reality TV is just like, I don't know, it's just never, it's not gonna be, I don't think it's gonna be what it is today even for much longer. Because like, I think it's gonna turn everyone who's like the real people with real stories that will last, they're gonna start doing things like this, like podcasts, YouTube, whatever it is, and that's what people are gonna watch.
No, I mean, like it's true. Like I think you're absolutely right, because like now there's all these other outlets and platforms where you can just speak freely and have your opinions and be in control of the narrative and how it's like put out there, whereas that is part of like being on reality TV. You have zero control of how you're going to be portrayed. Right, exactly. And then you just got to sit back and watch everyone's reaction to something and you're like, that's not accurate.
Right. And you know, it's probably in a way a blessing in disguise for both of us that we left, because I know you and I, there's something like about the both of us where we just have like a real quality to us, and it drives us nuts being around people who aren't like that.
Yeah, well, you just don't know how to like literally interact with them.
Yeah, it's...
And then it translates on camera. Like if you're not friends with someone or you don't connect with them, and then you got to sit down and have a conversation with them, and then it's just like crickets. Like that stuff reads on camera, like you said. Yeah. We underestimate the viewers. Like they're gonna see that. I wanted you so bad to like pop out at reunion or something. Like I just like just to have your reaction, because you're so expressive. Like just your face alone, I just would have loved to like have you sit there.
We should do like a People's Couch rewatch of an episode or something, and be like,
do like an older episode too, and then like one of the newer ones, because you didn't watch my last season. No, like today when you were watching a couple episodes, that was your first time watching.
I want to finish it now though.
I can tell you how it ends.
No, but it's interesting. I'm glad to see that you weren't tainted though by like the reality TV bug. It's changed so many of the people I've known over the years. And I can tell, like, you're still you, and I love that.
Thank you. I think the same of you. Well, I love you. Let's check our Uber Eats are here.
I know. It sounds good to me.